Scott Rueck, head women's basketball coach at Oregon State, going into year 14. Well, I always knew I wanted to coach, and so as a student here at Oregon State, that was my design, was to get my teaching degree, try to coach high school boys basketball, and one thing led to another, and the next thing you know, I'm coaching out at Santiam Christian boys high school, and then I get a call that offered me a position at George Fox as an assistant in the women's program. Said yes to that, got to coach my sister there her junior and senior year, and then 3 years later was named the head coach and was there for 14 amazing years, as the head coach at Fox, and I loved it. A lot of success, a lot of fun, figuring out who I was as a professional, figuring out that this game is bigger than basketball. It's all about relationships, and early success taught me that, and then it ultimately led to year 13. We'd won the conference. I think that was the 6th time that year. 10 true freshmen. We were predicted, I think, 5th in the league that year because we graduated 7 or 8 seniors. And the next thing you know, with 10 true freshmen, no returning starters, we win the national title at 32-0, an undefeated season. Taught me anything is possible, beyond explanation. But it is the thing that led to the Oregon State job. Without that national championship, this would not be possible. And so, yeah, it was just magical. And I look back on those years just with the warmest thoughts, and what a blessing. And then I joked that the one job I'd leave Fox for was Oregon State, but they would never want me, a D3 coach. And next thing I know, I get offered the Oregon State job, and now it's been 13 plus years later. I've been an Oregon State fan my whole life. I mean, my mom went here. I've got a picture when I was 1 in an Oregon State Letterman's jacket, the only one I ever got. I lived and died Oregon State in every way. I grew up listening to Ralph Miller, Beaver basketball games, and Daryl Ani back in the day before Mike Parker on the radio, describing our football games. And then being a student down here, taught me to love this place even more. And so the opportunity to come home, and represent the school to prove that you can win at the highest level from Oregon State has been the greatest joy of my time here, and kind of just my personal mission is to prove this is an incredible place for everyone. Coming back to Oregon State, starting over from basically ground zero, I had 14 years under my belt as a head coach. I knew who I was, I knew what worked with me, I knew what didn't work with me. And I didn't know, though, if it would work at this level. So that was the experiment, was for me to come in and try my thing. And I'm like, well, they didn't hire Gino, they didn't hire Tara, they didn't hire Pat Summitt, they hired me. So I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna see if it works. And I hope it does. But I'm relationship-based, and so initially it was just find the people that I know work with me, as many as we can, that are great basketball players, the best we can find, and put together what we had at George Fox, which is a team that just plays as hard as they can for each other every night. And if you do that, good things are gonna happen, right? And so, sure enough, we gained some traction, and that built the foundation. The Final Four team was the culmination of a vision, and to be honest, it went beyond the vision. That was a team full of people that came here to do something that had never been done. And we all partnered with that belief that we are going to prove that you can win here, and we're going to do things that most people don't think are possible. And we played with that chip on our shoulder, we practiced with the chip on our shoulder, and we believed, and we earned it. That group had so many tough competitors that knew that they had outworked their opponent. And so they took the court every night, they just would not be denied. And it was full of so many great characters, that was a team that, a movie could be made about that team. They were so inspiring. 2030, the Final Four in Portland, obviously another incredible opportunity, for our community, a well-deserved one. We've been supported so incredibly well for a decade now. Oregon has as well. And so we know that there's a passion here, and so why not bring it here? And the Northwest has been a hotbed of women's basketball for as long as I can remember. Everybody loves coming out here, and so for our convention to be here, for just all eyes in our sport to be on the city of Portland while we're playing at the highest level is a dream. To play in it would be the ultimate dream, and so we'll be working towards that. Well, this team has all the characteristics of our best teams. The way that they get along, the way they interact is not just some kumbaya moment. You know, I'm not saying that. I'm saying they problem solve well, they like each other, they love to compete, they're highly competitive, and they just play super hard. There's not a limit on their effort, you know, and that's a prereq of great teams or greatness in any way. We have all the tools, we have all the pieces. We've got inside, outside, point guard play, we defend, we like to defend, you know, and so all those things make me extremely excited. And so Oregon State basketball, when you watch us play, the reason that we draw the way we do, we play in an inspiring way, in an unselfish, inspiring way where we put our heart on the court and play for each other, and those things are true of this team. And so I always say, if you come watch us, be careful because you're going to get hooked.